Hello, and welcome to this edition of Takeaway Tuesday. I'm really excited to talk to you today about children's knowledge of genital anatomy and the question, did it go inside? So, we know as forensic interviewers that when a child alleges sexual assault or maltreatment, there often is a higher charge if there is penetration. And generally, the statutes are worded such that it's penetration, however slight. When the question, did it go inside or did something go inside the child's body, there is this assumption that the child's understanding of their genital anatomy is the same as yours and mine. And unfortunately, that has been proven not to be the case. In a study that was done, and it was conducted in a medical setting and with over 600 children, so it's a really large sample. And these children, girls, were ages 5 to 17. When you look at such a large sample size, over 600 children or 600 reports, that 83.3% of the girls did not have an accurate understanding of their body. And so, thinking about again a medical study or medical facility, which they could ask questions that you and I absolutely could not ask in a forensic interview. But think about these questions and then the children's response. So, they were asking the children, do you have names for the private areas of your body, or if the child had given a term, then they used that term. And then if the children said yes, they asked what those names were. They asked the children how many different openings they had in their genitals, and did they urinate in the same place, or did it come from the same place as their menstrual flow. And again, thinking about 83.3% of these children did not understand or did not know how their body functioned. They didn't know how many openings were in their body. So when we think about it, when we do ask a question regarding penetration, there is this assumption that what I know about the female body and what the child knows about their body is one and the same. But the study was clear that so many of the children do not. So then when we come along and we ask what seems like such a simple question, did something go inside? Did it go inside? If the child's mentioned an object or a hand or, a penis. And then the kids come back and they'll either say yes or no or I don't know. So, what happened in this study, the children were asked about, inside versus outside, really looking at labial penetration versus vaginal penetration. And what they found is that the younger children, if they were asked, did something go inside, that when the children said yes, they were more than likely referring to labial penetration. The older girls, though, when asked that question, unless it was vaginal penetration, their response was no. So that means if there was labial penetration with the older children and they were saying no to the question, then perhaps we didn't have a full understanding of their experiences. So where does that leave you and I in a forensic interview? Because again, we know often that our team has a desire to know, again, because there may be a higher charge or additional charges if there is penetration. And again, for us, generally it means penetration, however slight. So what do we do? The recommendation really is not to ask that very direct yes/no question, did it go inside? But instead, the researchers give us an alternative, and that is, did something go inside any part of your genital area or private area or whatever word the child used? And their thought was that if you said any part, the children might have a better understanding of what that question means. What I would say is if you find yourself asking that specific question, what you want to do if you get an affirmative response is come back and say, tell me about knowing it went inside, or talk to me more about, help me understand, so that you're not just taking the affirmative response, but then you're allowing the child to give you narrative so that you can understand truly if that child can give you that information. So, a tricky question, one that often our team wants us to ask, or there's a need dependent on the investigation and what potential charges are being looked at, that we want to have an understanding of what happens with this child. Just be aware that coming along and asking, did it go inside? Not the best question. Think about another way that you could reword that. Was there something that went inside any part of your genitals, or again, whatever word the child uses? And then if you get an affirmative response, then ask for some narrative so that you have a better understanding of the child's experience.
If you'd like more information, please check out calio.org. Also look at the NCAC Virtual Training Center for different webinars and seminars that have been recorded with experts in the field. And as always, if you have any questions or comments, please email me at the link below. Thanks and have a great day.